how you doing? B Roberts here, Insight to Marketing. I hope you're well. It's a Wednesday, so you know it's Ask I2M Wednesdays. I wanted to make sure that I show up. This week, I'm actually working with some amazing business women who are at the moment working on their brands with me, absolutely free for 5 days of free tips and training. So I wanted to say good afternoon to those of you who are joining with me today. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Let me know where you're watching from. I always ask that question because I always like to know where my viewers are watching from, especially if you're first-time viewers. And this is really an opportunity for you to ask me questions on branding or marketing. If the questions don't come in, then obviously I'm here for a short period of time. But I did want to say, good afternoon, how you doing? I hope you're well. Let me know what your business is. Birmingham, excellent. I did want to say to you that very quickly, just want to talk to you about brand assets, okay? Now, I don't know if some of you that are watching or catch the replay have got things like jingles or intros on your website or YouTube branding or your logo. Very important. Even you as an asset for your brand is very, very important. But it's important to consider things like your domain name, your email address, and assets for your business. Why am I talking about this? Because I think it's something that's regularly ignored. As we start our business, a lot of us will start up with like Hotmail or Gmail, or we'll start up with Yahoo accounts, and we don't change them. And even when we get a domain name for our business, which is www.ourbusinessname.com, we still don't assign emails to our domain name. So I want you to start thinking a bit more deeper in terms of branding. One of the things I'm sharing this week is about the importance of brand assets and why you need to be clear on what your assets are. So actually looking at what you feel as an asset for your business, almost do an audit of what you have in your business, not just your logo, not just the tangible stuff, but look at what might be assets in your business. And it could be, as I said, something as simple as a jingle for your podcast, right? So think about what your assets are and get clear on them. And if you are currently using an email that's not linked to your business name, I just want to drop some food for thought for you this morning in terms of first impressions counting and also the importance of having a good reputation. So JMV Holmes, good afternoon. How you doing? Malika, how you doing? So you're a violinist and a beauty consultant. Guess what? I can play violin up to grade 3. I'm sure you're like grade 8 or over that. I can play violin up to grade 3. I love strings. Let me turn down this light a little bit. I love strings. And I really do love playing the violin when I used to play it anyway. Okay, so CLK, how you doing? All right, so we've got a few of you on today. So I'm just asking if you've got any questions for me. And if you have, great, then let me know. I, as many of you will know, have been doing branding or marketing now for over 24 plus years. I started my own business on just £100. I'm now a trusted source of information from various organizations. And also I am a mentor as well for external organizations, as well as being a brand and marketing coach. So let me know what's happening in your world at the moment. Have many of you kind of slowed down in terms of sales when it comes to the pandemic? Or are you still selling? And if you are selling, what are you selling? And do you have any questions for me today? I started off this live talking about assets and the importance of asset management. Something that I know a lot of us get stung by sometimes. And I'm going to actually throw in another asset that I think would count. And some of you may or may not disagree with me, but your hashtag is in effect an asset. Let me explain why, right? I remember when I first started up my Inspire Your Biz events. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Dr. King? When I first started up my Inspire Your Biz events, my hashtag Inspire Your Biz was named after the Inspire Your Biz events. It's an event, it's a name that I created. And so, hey, Alita, how you doing? Hey, Paisley Beauty, how you doing? So I created this hashtag, and to me, I didn't think anything of it. But I started to get really annoyed when people were actually using my hashtag that weren't associated with my events, that weren't speakers at my events, but quite literally wanted to jump on my Inspire Your Biz brand. Now, many of you may not be aware that I do events, but this is the Wednesday Ask I2M session. So let me just quickly say, as more of you are joining, if you have a question for me with regards to your brand or marketing, now's the time to ask. Good afternoon, Natalie. How you doing? DJP London, how you doing? I hope you're well. So I actually had a hashtag that people were piggybacking off of, and some of you may be able to resonate with this one. And I remember I saw someone who had nothing to do with my company, never met him before. In fact, he was in a different country, and he was using my hashtag for all of his posts. And I even went a bit cheekier, step further, and use one of my videos. It was a good video because it was a client testimonial many years ago talking about my social media training for LinkedIn. It was a couple that I had trained, and he had took that video and put it on his page and then coupled that with my hashtag. And I was like, So I contacted him because to me, although I didn't realize it, my hashtag was indeed an asset for my business. So let me know if you're watching now live and you get what I just said. Your hashtags, especially if you have hashtags that are designed by you, created by you, whilst they're free, think about whether or not they are assets for your business, because this guy was using my testimonial video. As I said, it put me in a good light. It was fine. But he was putting it on his page along with my hashtag Inspire Your Biz, which was really weird. So, all right, so we've got Malika the violinist. I'm definitely going to check out your page. Someone said it makes sense. Good. So that's an asset. And as I said, along with things like your domain name, your logo, your email address, along with things like jingles, if any of you use intros and outros for your YouTube videos as examples, these are all brand assets. So let's start getting more disciplined in how we kind of build our brand, because some of us are still using assets which are not recognizing as assets, and we're not protecting them. All right, and there are different ways you can actually protect your assets. One of the businesses I do want to mention, although I'm not endorsing them, but you might want to go and check them out, is Protect My Work. Okay, so you can Google them, Protect My Work. If you're based in the UK, they are Trustpilot verified, but go and check out Protect My Work. And also, if you have links to people that do like legal asset management, definitely check out a conversation with them as well if you know anyone, because it's in your interest, right? So my hashtag that I've got, Ask I2M, I use that as a way to connect people to my brand, also as a way for me to check how my brand is performing. So let me know in the comments, do any of you have hashtags? I can see some of you have. Do you have a hashtag? Let me know what your hashtag is. Let me know if you have a hashtag, and if you do, what is your hashtag? I'm just giving some very quick tips ahead of any questions coming in around brand assets. And as I said, if you have a domain name or if you're thinking of getting one, do try and attach email addresses to your brand domain name for your website, okay? Because for my business, I've got insighttomarketing.com, and even when I changed hosts, my service provider for my website, even when I changed that, my email addresses still stayed the same. So I've always had info@insighttomarketing.com. And obviously, as I've had new team members join and I've got different projects coming up, I've got sponsorship at insighttomarketing.com. I've got admin at insighttomarketing.com. I've got hello at insighttomarketing.com, which is where most of my funnels are fed into that email address. So how are you using assets in your business? Just let me know via the comments if you are using assets. How are you doing, Miss Kitchen? If I pronounced that right, let me know. How are you doing, Davina? I hope you're well. So many of you won't know this, but I did start my business on just a small budget. And when I started, I knew not much at all about business modeling. So I didn't have an idea for what I was going to do beyond the fact that I had my logo, had my intellect and my brains in terms of my expertise, having been in the industry for 16 plus years. And so I literally tried to monetize just that alone. And I assumed in the beginning, I was literally just going to be here to deliver training. Didn't realize that, a year into my business, I'd be asked to be doing coaching. And actually for the last six years now, I've been doing coaching with transformational results for my clients. But not just that. I've actually been doing training courses still. I've brought out my own self-published planner, which is available. If you want to know details of that, let me know. And I also do mentoring for external organisations, major UK bank, major startup organisation, and also the Sherry Blair Foundation, where I have international mentees. So if you are looking at it from the position of, okay, I'm starting here, but I want to get to here. Let's think of A to B. Do make sure you look at what your assets might be. All right. For my violin performance bookings email. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you for that. I'll have a look at that. This is not a time to be advertising though, quite cheeky. But do let us know we can connect with you for those of you that are watching. If you are wanting to kind of reflect on your assets, do think about what you can do from moving from point A to point B. So if you've got assets that you haven't really named as assets, as I said, it could be your font, it could be your colors that you use, if they're bespoke to your brand especially, think about that. And branded content as well. So if you have content on your pages, if at the moment you just use a pink border, anyone can lift that up, can't they? Anyone can lift up a pink border. Or look, think about how many quotes you might have seen that are just black and white with no branding on them at all. Now, some people spend lots of time, and you can let me know in the comments with the number 2. Some people spend a lot of time creating, and some of you may be doing this, lots of content, branded content, which is just black and white or pink and white. And depending on where you're going with your brand in terms of development or how precious you are about your quotes and things like that, I would definitely advise you to look at how you can actually have more of a grip on your brand. Because if you are producing content for your page that you've taken time to produce, one of the things I would say is look at how you can apply your logo or a watermark or even just your business name on your material, so that if someone does, take it and place it somewhere else, more times than not, especially if they're not good with Photoshop and things like that, because people do that, they can't Photoshop it out if you've got it embossed on your actual graphics. If you do a quote or you have a picture of yourself or a picture of something that you've taken time to produce as branded material, think about how you can put a watermark or your logo or some kind of branded connotation to it so that you start producing branded content. Again, that is likely to then be part of your brand assets. All right. So, no offense, my email has my business name. I think that's good. And I get now why you put that in, so that's fine. I think it's good, and I think it's very clear. But the only thing is with Gmail, if that is obviously if you get bookings, it's fine. But I think for what you're doing in terms of your violin in bookings, I don't know who your clientele is at the moment, and some people aren't precious about this, by the way. So I'm not saying don't use Gmail if you have Gmail already. But I'm just saying in terms of shifting with your brand development, one of the things I always advise my clients is how to have an even more professional look. So for example, if you have a website, Malika, what you might do is, or even a LinkedIn page, what you might do is direct people to linkedin.com/in/Malika the violinist, right? Because that's then very specific to you and it's branded to you. The link with Gmail or Yahoo Mail or BT Internet, sometimes people are like cutiepie123@gmail.com, etc., etc. I totally get where you're coming from. I don't disagree with you. I think you're fine with that. But I would just say if and when you're ready to shift with the brand, that's something you might want to consider, is how you can attach it to an email. I will say quite transparently, as I said yesterday on my live discussion I had with the group I'm kind of working with in a minute, that what I do, I have my Insight to Marketing brand. Good afternoon. If you're just joining, let me know where you're watching from. I have my Insight to Marketing brand, and with that brand, I have several email addresses that's linked to that. But then I also have Inspire Your Biz. So on Inspire Your Biz, I will transparently say I have inspireyyourbiz@gmail.com. Why? Because I don't have a website for it. If I wanted to, and if it wasn't so out there already, I would have definitely created inspireyyourbiz@insighttomarketing.com. But that's another conversation. But people know that email address and they know it's part of one of my main brands, my main brand being insighttomarketing.com. So give me number 3 in the comments if that made sense, what I just explained. And Malika, thank you so much for pointing that out, that your email address is indeed part of your brand for Gmail. Nothing wrong with that. But I think if people are wanting to level up, do think about how you can do that. There's my email there. For any of you that are wanting to share an inspirational story, wanting to start speaking internationally, my next event takes place in the Caribbean, March 2021. It's a retreat, my 6th year doing the retreats over there. And that's the email address, inspireyyourbiz@gmail.com. All right, lots of 3s, brilliant. So who's got a question for me? Because that's why I came on. I've ended up talking about brand assets and a few more branding tips. But who has actually got a question for me with regards to anything relating to branding or marketing? Throw in a question for me. It's now 12:30, so I've got probably another 10 minutes here. Throw in a question for me if you have a question. And let me know what your question is using the comments box. There is an icon with a question mark on it. So go in with that icon, click on it and drop your question in for me if you have a question. All right. I should also mention at this time that every few months I do a brand and marketing review. It's an opportunity for you to actually review your brand and marketing with me in a coaching capacity. For 5 days, I work with a group online, and you can be from any business. You can also be male or female, and I work with you in a coaching capacity for just £27, and we review your brand and marketing. We look at what you've done so far. I'll give recommendations to you for your business based on what you could be doing differently, and that's a fee of just £27. The next intake is actually happening from Monday, so a few of you have already booked on, but if you are wanting to take part, look at my events, or I think it could even be in my bio on the blue link. There is details there. It's called the Branding and Marketing Review Challenge, okay? And it's 5 days of coaching with me live, online, and we do it in a private group. So if you're thinking about your brand at the moment or wondering how you can improve your marketing or improve your sales, then definitely register for that. For just £27, as many others have, you will get lots of clarity in terms of how your brand is showing up, but also in terms of the activities that you're doing to be visible and the activities that you're doing to stay consistent when it comes to time and budget. All right, so if you're interested in that, make sure you register for that, because that takes place next week, and I do cap it at a certain level, so I wouldn't want you to miss out. This is what happens with quite a few of you that register late, doubting me when I say that it's a limited number. All right, I don't think I've got any questions. I can't see any at the minute. So let me know if any of the tips I've shared today have resonated with you, have helped you, have shed some light on something for you. Let me know. And I'm doing a run on Friday of some more of my planners. I've got just a few left. I'm going to have to do another order, believe it or not. So if you are wanting to order a planner, feel free to let me know. The link is on my bio, but it's also on insighttomarketing.com/products. That's insighttomarketing.com/products, and that's where you can order my planner. It's £19. It's packed with tips and campaign ideas, over 220 campaign ideas, as well as a weekly planner and a monthly planner, and lots of details in there to help you to build your brand, look at your sales, have a budget, be more organized, and just get everything together when it comes to promoting your brand online and offline. If you're interested in that, as I said, do make sure you connect with me. Okay, I can see that there is a question. Malika's given me a round of applause. She said, first time on my live. I hope you're enjoying it. All right, so we've got a question here. What content or subjects or brands would you say is doing well in social media at the moment? Good question. There are a lot, but I would say more focus on what's relevant to your industry. So for anyone that's trying to kind of jump on or piggyback what's out there at the moment, obviously there are various campaigns around, Black Lives Matters, equality for women, co-working, going back into work, health, wellness, obviously. But I think if your question is what content for subjects or brands would you say is doing well, definitely the Black Lives Matter, co-working and kind of empowering each other. But I think for what you're doing with photography, if you're asking in terms of your business, what I would say to you is look at your industry and literally search trending topics. I think there's a website that's still open now called hashtags.org. There's also sites like BuzzSumo. I'll put that in the comments. And BuzzSumo is where you can find out a lot about what's trending. And you can also even pay for a pro version on that, although I don't recommend it. I'll put in a few here. BuzzSumo. You've also got Flipboard. Any other questions, please put them into the comments. You've got Feedly, which is one that I love. And you've also got Reddit. Yeah, so these are all platforms where you can find out different things. And also you've got Medium as well. Let me put in Medium. You've got different things online that you can use in terms of researching content ideas. I always recommend that you do it based on your industry. I always recommend that you look at how you can actually align yourself with what's current in your industry, because the more relevant you are and the more consistent you are, is the more of your ideal clients you're going to attract. And make sure that what you're sharing is aligned to your brand. Don't start sharing things just to change the narrative so that you stay in the newsfeed. Make sure you check out some of those links I've shared. BuzzSumo is really good because BuzzSumo will actually share with you content that's most popular based on time sensitive information. So if you type in the word cheese on BuzzSumo, it will tell you all of the articles, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, and the ratings that it got, the interaction that it got. So you can then get ideas on what you can share from BuzzSumo, BuzzSumo, for content ideas. And even just a search on YouTube, actually. If you search on YouTube and just start typing in, photography, the word photography, other things will come up that will then maybe give you food for thought in terms of what other people are searching for. Because when you go onto a search bar, whether it's on Google or YouTube, you do find other things that people have been searching for in terms of keywords and, things you can use in your captions and stuff, or even topics for your videos or topics for your articles and so on. They are already there. So that half your work is done if you know how to use the internet strategically. Let me know if that answered your question. All right, any more questions for me? Any more questions for me? I did ask if any of you have hashtags. If you do have a hashtag that you use, that you own, let me know. I'm going to just quickly put in my ones. They're very obvious because you're on it now. One of them now is Ask I2M. Okay, and that's Googleable now. So you can get lots of content from me from Ask I2M. And also I've got hashtag as well, Inspire Your Biz. All right, another question that came in. Please try and use the question mark so that I don't lose track of questions. Not that I'm inundated today. But another question is, do you recommend content curation when I have a mind mind block of creating content? Yeah, definitely. Content creation is key. I think for creating content, one of the things I would say is try and find a time, if you can, where you've got an hour where you can source from some of the tools I've shared there. Also remember that aside from sourcing content, you can create your own in blocks, whether it's images, whether it's quotes, whether it's useful tips, whether it's quick videos that you do. Try Story Swag and Word Swag, two tools that I use quite a lot. Very quick to use once you start getting the hang of them. Lots of information on there as well in terms of free videos and free content. So Story Swag and Word Swag. Definitely not for you if you can't afford to upgrade to the pro version, because personally I feel like the minimal investment you've got to make for these two, and I'm not endorsing them and you may know of others, but they are two platforms that you can use to create content very quickly. All right. Seeing some of your hashtags come in, great stuff. So yeah, in terms of creating content, my advice would be, first of all, decide what content you want to use. Have at least 3 or 4 themes. Don't go above that. Make sure that they're themes that you could talk about very confidently. And also think about your audio, your format. So whether it's audio, whether it's an article, whether it's a video, whether it's you doing a webinar, whether you're speaking on stage, because that's also a form of content. Make sure you're clear on your content marketing strategy so that you're clear on what you're sharing, when you're sharing it, and the platform you're sharing it on. And always align it to your audience as well. I think sometimes we do get blocks. So I would say if you can, share things to draft. So on Instagram, you can start writing a post, even if you just write the first paragraph. If you're going to do a long form post, write a paragraph with your picture or your video and save it to draft. And then when you're ready, you can go back into it and post it. Similarly, if you want to, you can also save posts. So if you're on Instagram and you like a post or something resonates with you or you get inspiration from something, save the post. On the far right hand side, underneath the caption, usually, hey, how you doing? You can actually see on the far right, a save icon. Okay, you can see that if you look on my Insight to Social page, which is where I share lots of tips on social media management, content, email, video, and digital. If you look on that page, you'll be able to see quite a lot of content on there. And some of my recent posts, I've actually included a prompt in my graphic to tell people or encourage you to actually share or save. All right, so you can check that out. You can see one of my latest examples. So good to see some of you are connecting on there. Yes, someone says I didn't know about the draft on Instagram. Yes, you can save to drafts. And don't forget as well, just as an aside, I'm digressing a little bit, but it's definitely relevant, that you can use alt tags on some of your videos and also on some of your photos as well. If you go to advanced settings, when you're uploading your image or your video onto Instagram, you can go to advanced settings before you post, and it will give you some options. Alt tag is one of them, and that's where you put in some words which are really good for kind of screen reading. Hi, how you doing? And also for the internet, when it's trawling for content, it's very good in terms of search engine optimization. So alt tags, different topic, but very relevant to content, because that was the question that was asked. Who else has got a question for me? Let me know if I'm throwing down some tips today. Let me know if I'm throwing down some tips for you in the comments. I can see quite a few of you are interacting and giving me the 3s, which is good. So let me just make sure I did answer that question properly. The question was, and do drop your hashtags in if you have a hashtag. Someone said, I'm a photographer and I found that useful. So the question was, do you recommend content or curation when I have a mind block of creating content? Do I recommend it? I don't recommend if you've got a mind block. I always say we are best at work when we are most productive. So if you know that you're not really a morning person, it doesn't matter what guru told you to get up at 4 a.m. or who's trying to dictate to you the time you should be starting work. You have to start when you're ready. If you're most productive in the evening from 6 till 10, if you're most productive in the lunchtime, then that's when you should be creating content, because that's when your ideas and your creative juices are going to be flowing. So I don't recommend that you create content when you're not feeling inspired or creative. But I would say, if you do have times when perhaps you're not in the mood to kind of draft and make the artwork, at least write down. If you have one of my planners, there's a whole section on this. There's notes sections you can do this in. Just jot down your ideas and then go back to it in the morning or the following week, and then start creating the content then, when you may be more energetic to sit down and, you know, carve out a masterpiece using Canva or using PicMonkey or whatever. All right, someone says V is on fire, loving the tips. All right, good stuff. So there's some hashtags there. You can see, if you scroll through, you can network with other people. I know 2 of the photographers today have actually connected on here today, which is great. Many of you will know that on my Super Women Connected page, that's what I'm all about. So if you're not already following me there, we're not connected, I would definitely suggest you jump on over there, because that's where I'm trying to connect more women in business globally, right? So if you're interested in widening your network, not even to talk business stuff, to be honest, just to be connected to other amazing women, go and check out my other page, Super Women Connected. All right. Any more questions for me? Hopefully that did answer your question, Hopura. Any more questions for me? I'll take one more, because I don't normally go over half an hour. I'll take one more. Hey, Leah, how you doing? Hope you're well. I'll take one more question relating to branding or marketing. Hopura, let me know if that answer helped you. I hope it did. Where are you all watching from? I know we've got Birmingham, Manchester, London. Where are you watching from today? Comfort of your sofa? Where are you watching from? Let me know. I always like to find out where people are watching from. And you too. I've been watching some of your lives, Leah. Very inspiring. I think I'm going to speak to you about whether or not we can do something on a podcast with you. I know you spoke at one of my events back in 2015. I'd love to see you speaking on one of my podcasts. All right, she said I look well. Do I? Okay, thank you. All right, someone's at work. London. All right, any more questions for me? Let me know if you've got any more questions for me. Any more questions, drop them in the box. Yeah, I'd love that too. Someone said I'm homeschooling at the same time. Wow, you were a multitasker. Nice one. Nice one. All right, so I'm going to go. If you're just catching the live now, at the start of the live, before the questions started flying in, I shared some tips on brand assets. I also shared some tips on general branding information. And I think a lot of you will find them useful, particularly if at the moment you're trying to build your brand, or if you haven't really considered where your brand is going in the next 6 months. Because you know what? We have to shift. Right? We have to level up. At the end of the day, I've been saying this for a while now. You've seen probably on some of my hashtags, I've always used that word, hashtag levels, because for me, every time I reach a certain point in my business, the next thing for me is what next? What am I going to do next? So even when I hit my monthly target, because yes, I do give myself targets. When I hit my monthly sales goal or my monthly target, I'm on to the what next. Many of my clients that work with me one-to-one, many of my clients that work with me in a coaching capacity know this. I'm always about leveling up. So if you are not yet in a position where you feel like you've grown in 2020, obviously we're all working at our own paces. It's not about rushing anything. It's about your pace, your priorities. But I would say watch the replay. I'm going to put it on IGTV in a moment. Definitely watch the replay. And just think about what you might want to do in terms of your branding. I've got my bombastic branding course. So for anyone watching this who is wanting to get advice on, a 6-step approach, which is very simple and straightforward, with exclusive workbooks, exclusive tips, and exclusive video content, I'm happy to share the link with you for that. It's a course I've been running since 2014 with phenomenal results. And I've got some very well-known YouTubers and also coaches that have done my bombastic branding course that's helped to shape the brands that they are today, and I'm very proud of that. So if you are wanting to work on your brand and you already know you want to work on your brand, it's cheaper for you to buy that than to actually do coaching with me, believe it or not. So feel free to actually reach out if that's what you're interested in. Thanks again for joining me live. I'm back next week Wednesday at 12:15 p.m. And if you want to be part of the Close Friends community here on Instagram, I can add you, but you've got to let me know with the words Close Friends via DM. So if you're not already part of the Close Friends circle on Instagram and you want up to 2 exclusive tips a week from me, you need to let me know with the word Close Friends, and I'll make sure that I add you to the group. I'll speak to you soon. Have a great week, okay? Take care, everyone. Much love. Bye for now.